that there are still bottles of wine, $100 each, but just remember that $100, that's, what's that? Is that 20 that's 20 meals? 20 meals, and you get the bottle of wine. So it is a great, great investment. And
Liverpool Chamber of Commerce. Chamber of Commerce, and the work that the Chamber does is incredibly special. So special that Ali chucked a sneaky ciggy and was here, and so special that I should have chucked a ciggy, but I took some pottle and I'm here this evening with you all. I'd like to start off by acknowledging that we meet on the land of the Gabbargal clan of the Darug Nation, and I pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. And I also acknowledge the many special guests who have joined us as well. So my parliamentary colleagues, David Saliba, the member for Fairfield, Tina Ayad, the member for Holsworthy, as well as the many representatives from Liverpool Council. I know there are new councillors with us. There's the mayor and the deputy mayor. And it's a reflection of the important role that the Chamber plays in the social and economic fabric of Liverpool. And it's also a reflection of the importance of Meals on Wheels as an organisation, that there is such a wide variety of people who are here. We know that despite times being incredibly tough, especially over the last 5 years, first with the impacts of the COVID pandemic and now with the cost of living crunch, Small Business Month is actually getting bigger and bigger each year. It's why since I was elected just over 18 months ago, I have made it my mission to celebrate the small businesses that play such a huge role in our local community, in our local economy, and celebrate those businesses. I also take a really big interest in advocating for our local economic development through the many ways that state government can. And most people who aren't working directly with small business don't realise that 97% of all businesses in our state, about 850,000 of them, are small businesses. Collectively, they employ 1.8 million people and earn over $535 billion in income annually and pay out almost $76 billion in wages and salaries every year. It's extraordinary figures, aren't they? The New South Wales Government shares the same objectives of everyone in this room in furthering the economic development of Liverpool, the Liverpool region and beyond, and it's something that I often discuss with the Minister whenever I can grab his ear. The diversity of the more than 17,000 small businesses in the Liverpool areas vary, but more often than not, they share similar challenges. Speaking for the Minister for Multiculturalism for a second, who's the same person by the way, small businesses are critical to supporting our diverse multicultural community, with some 35% of small business operators in New South Wales who are born overseas. And I've spoken to a few of them this evening. Unsurprisingly, in Liverpool, this number rises to 60%. Starting a small business like a convenience store, like a sari store, like a bakery, like the many businesses that we have across Liverpool, is often the first step onto the business ladder for immigrants. And for many, it is the option that they have created for themselves when doors have been shut in their face otherwise. A stepping stone to bigger things, as well as further integration into our wider community. And given the critical nature of small business to our shared economy and our wider community, you can see why small business is such a big part of the New South Wales Government's agenda. That's why we came to government with two major small business commitments. The first being the New South Wales Charter for Small Business, and the second being the Service New South Wales Service Bureau, also the Business Bureau. Both are now in operation, and I'd like to just take a minute to update you on what's happening with them and their impacts on small businesses. The Service New South Wales Business Bureau was an election commitment we made to the business community to provide businesses with one front door access to New South Wales Government information, services and support. And the Business Bureau helps small businesses with things like ongoing support to navigate government programs, assistance for exploring growth opportunities, including exporting or selling to government, and digital tools to manage government transactions and compliance obligations. As the Parliamentary Secretary for both customer service and digital government, this is something I'm incredibly passionate about, because something I reflect on quite often is the fact that any of us in this room is one app, one piece of technology, one technological evolution away from digital illiteracy. Let that sink in for a moment. And that has huge economic ramifications. So making sure our community, particularly here in southwest Sydney, is digitally enabled, has digital access, and is able to work closely with government to ensure economic prosperity is a really big focus of mine and that of the New South Wales Government. The Service New South Wales Business Bureau is also responsible for implementing the New South Wales Charter for Small Business, which was released in February of this year. And it establishes the framework for how the New South Wales Government will engage and consult with New South Wales small businesses on policies, programs and initiatives that will affect them. All of these are important changes to assist our local small businesses to grow and thrive, and ones that have been welcomed by the small business community at large. In fact, there were more than 1.6 million visits to the Service New South Wales Business Bureau website in the first 6 months as the sector looks to the Bureau for assistance. And again, putting on my hat as representing the Minister for Multiculturalism, the Business Bureau's website also provides free online language translation services and automatically translates content into over 50 languages through its menu. As I said earlier, Small Business Month is October, where the New South Wales Government reaches out to support the sector through a range of different seminars, activities and expos. So if there is anyone here who is thinking of starting a small business, firstly, you're in good company in this room, but secondly, you can take that idea to the next level, where you'll through Small Business Month, where you'll find ideas and inspiration, you'll gain insights for success and make lasting connections in order to take your idea either to the first level or to the next level. During the last minute, I have to share something with you about the Business Bureau concierges. Over the last month, they have scheduled appointments with over 450 businesses, with 400 being in metro areas. They've engaged with more than 100 stakeholders, including business chambers like this and councils, to strengthen relationships and create opportunities for small business. And they've engaged with many other stakeholders in regional areas. Because we are We are a state that has so much potential. We are a region here in southwest Sydney that has so much potential. And Dimitri mentioned it before when he acknowledged the role of the Western Sydney Airport, which is due to have flights taking off at the end of 2026, and the flow-on impact that will have on many of the businesses, the people in this room. But I think for me, what has stood out this evening is truly that small businesses and chambers of commerce like this are the backbone of not just our local economies, but our local communities. The fact that we can come together like this to support an organisation like Meals on Wheels that does so much for some of the most vulnerable in our community is a testament to the important role that small businesses and business chambers have on ensuring that we don't have gaps where people can fall through those cracks. We heard some of the really powerful stories of impact that Meals on Wheels has, and I hope that you give generously so that Meals on Wheels can continue their amazing work. Having been out to their offices, having seen the work that Vince, that Kerry, that John do in keeping the organisation alive, and of course the volunteers that come together and support our community, their work can't be overstated. We know that social isolation, that loneliness, especially amongst our seniors, is growing, and so anything that you can do to help support the initiatives and the work that they do is very much valued. So with that, I will wrap up what I have to say, but thank you for sharing such a significant evening. Thank you for allowing me to share a message from the Minister, and I hope you all enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you so much for that, Karishma, and I feel what I read between the lines, that you're so committed to this. You're going to go call the Premier and say, Premier, checkbook.
Let me get my speed dial out.
Done. All right.
Deckle too.
I'd like to
You can make that call.
now the Mayor of Liverpool, Mr. Ned Renew. You started in the current affairs career last night, but just so you know, he was the good guy when chasing down the street.
Sharbel, is that your microphone, Deckle?
Thank you, Alison. Thank you, everyone. It's always good to be here at the Liverpool Chamber of Commerce Gala dinner with all of our wonderful businesses and familiar faces in our community and friends. I want to acknowledge all the distinguished guests who are here today, to Karishma, to David Saliba, to Tina Ayad, the member for Holsworthy, who I have to be extremely nice to, the Deputy Mayor, Councillor Pia Harrell, newly elected Deputy Mayor, my other councillor colleagues, Councillor Fiona McNaught, Matthew Hart, Peter Ristevski, Mira Ibrahim. Now let's see, I don't have this in order, my apologies. To our councillor colleague from Bankstown, from Blacktown City Council, Society Benjamin OAM, to Mr. Sam KL, the member for Werribee, the candidate for Werribee, maybe the member, and very important, each and every one of you. To the board of the Chamber of Commerce, thank you very much for the work and effort that you do in promoting business in our community. So to Dimitri, to all the board members, I really want to thank you for all the work and effort that you do. They do this on a voluntary basis to bring us all together and to celebrate what we do. And I think, can I say on behalf of myself and everyone here, thank you very much for all that the Chamber of Commerce does. Please give them a round of applause. And some people say, they talk about this philosophical thing that business is a bad thing, or being in business you're being greedy, but the reality, business is good. Business is good because it's where you have an opportunity to make a difference, an opportunity to look after yourself and as an individual, to look after your family then next, and to look after, or first your family, then you as an individual, but then you get to look after the wider community. And how good is it to be here today, celebrating and supporting Meals on Wheels. 60 years, going out there, they deserve a round of applause, but 75,000 meals. 75,000 meals. An invaluable service that we have in our community. And I want to share with you a little story that I heard the other day about members of our community. And it was about and it's pretty heartbreaking. And this was about a mother who said that she's teaching her, I think it was like a 9-year-old or 10-year-old son how to fast. Not Muslim, but teaching him how to fast because she can't afford to feed him 3 times a day. This is the reality of the world that we're living in the moment. And we are the luckiest country. We are the best country in the world. And this is where I think where we gather here today as businesses who are, thank God that we're all in a position where we can support this wonderful organisation like Meals on Wheels. And I do look around and I see many different service organisations here today who will go, each and every one of them making a difference. But this is ultimately what it gets down to. When you look at your balance sheet at the end of the day, you look at your profit or loss at the end of the financial year, you look at, oh great, how much money did I make? What did I end up at is? That's one thing. But what is so much more important for that, and it's demonstrated by you being here today, it's about purpose. Purpose in our lives, purpose in our business, purpose to make our difference. Because ultimately that's what we're taking with us. That fulfillment that we have at the end of the day, knowing when our lives finish, that we have made a difference. And I want to once again, I want to congratulate and thank you, each and every one of you, for being here and having that purpose and supporting what the wonderful organisation that Meals on Wheels is. So to Vince, to Kerry, to all the board members and all the volunteers, we're not going to leave you behind. We're going to support you. I'm glad to say that Liverpool Council, only I think it was 2 or 3 months ago, we donated, I think it was on $30,000 for a new for the new combi oven. And I think it was $10,000 after that as well. And we had a very good argument on the council floor saying, you know what? Just like they step in, we've got to step in and help them because ultimately it's your money as a community that we're managing on behalf of your behalf. So we are always going to stand with you guys and we'll always be with you. Thirdly, if I can say just very briefly, I want to thank each and every one of you. As you know, we had an election. Thankfully, we had an election on September 14th. And I'm honoured to be here back again as your mayor. It's a truly humbling experience to have your support. And on behalf of myself and my council team, I just want to say thank you. We almost didn't have an election. We finally got to have an election, and the community has spoken. My request of you, though, now, over the next 4 years, whilst I'm mayor, is that I ask you 2 things. Firstly, to be ambitious. To be ambitious for what you want to see for our community. Be ambitious for what you want to do. Be ambitious for what you want out of myself and the councillors from Liverpool City Council. Because we need you to be loud, we need you to speak up, we need you to push us so we can make sure we deliver a better community, because this is not about us. We have a responsibility to make our community better. We have and not just better, make it the best. And we only do that when we work together. And if we, please support us, push us, and make sure you are loud, because I'll tell you what, nag us, because we want to make sure we do a good job for each and every one of you. So everyone, thank you very much for being here. It's an honour, and we look forward to seeing you next time. And please support Meals on Wheels on this very important day. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Ned. I'd now like to invite Daniel Smart, Group's Operations Manager from Doltone House, to say a few words, please.
I'd like to express my thanks to Meals on Wheels on behalf of Doltone House, Doltone Hospitality Group. Such an incredible cause, and evidently a lot of support in this room. But good evening and welcome on behalf of the Doltone Hospitality Group Board to Doltone House, Western Sydney. I'd like to extend my thanks to the Liverpool Chamber of Commerce, the board and the community for allowing Doltone House, Western Sydney to host the event this evening. Having operated in Western Sydney for 3 years, we are privileged to be major sponsors of tonight's event and to have venue manager Gordon Famui as a board member. I'm delighted to have the opportunity to share exciting news about Doltone House and more broadly Doltone Hospitality Group. On Wednesday the 30th of October we will be celebrating our 55th birthday, and with that I'd love to share some major milestones for our group. Doltone Hospitality Group, for those that weren't aware, in 2023 were awarded hospitality service contracts for Sydney Town Hall, as well as Sydney Opera House Western Foyer's Green Room at the Sydney Opera House, and we launched Midden by Mark Ollie with our ambassador chef Mark Ollie. Doltone Hospitality Group, thank you. With that said, our expansion plans across New Zealand have successfully come to fruition. October 1 represented a significant accomplishment for our Doltone Hospitality Group family, as this was the first day we started trading across New Zealand under our new Ovation Hospitality Services brand. As we successfully established ourselves in the New Zealand hospitality market, having taken on some 40 venues and businesses spread across New Zealand's North and South Islands. I'm also pleased to let you know that our Paddy's Market project, to be known as Hay Street Market at Paddy's, is forging ahead. With 47 individual food and beverage concepts, this is set to be at the forefront of hospitality in our city. Also worth mentioning is our new restaurant and bar project at the new Sydney Fish Market. We're thrilled to announce our collaboration with Chef Luke Nguyen as our plan to launch an exciting Vietnamese Southeast Asian concept. And finally, to close off the expansion plan, I can report that Doltone Hospitality Group will be launching Doltone Defence Services, and we will be making impressive moves in the world of defence. This has definitely been a standout year for our group as we evolved as a company and expanded our footprint, not only across the industry sectors, but also away across the Tasman. May I take this opportunity to sincerely thank you all for joining us this evening. I'd like to congratulate you all for your amazing contribution to the community. Before we leave tonight, please don't forget to scan the QR code on the flyer that you have seen when you sat down tonight at your seats to go into the running to win $5,000 off a new event with us at Doltone House, Western Sydney. This has obviously made ours an opportunity to share and to be able to bring people together with what we know events is really about reward and recognition for our teams. So on behalf of Doltone House, we hope you enjoy the rest of the evening, and thank you.
Thanks so much for that, Daniel. And look, in a little while, we're going to be recognising the contributions of staff and volunteers from both Liverpool Chamber of Commerce and Industries and Liverpool Meals on Wheels. And I feel like we've had a lot of focus on all the volunteers of Meals on Wheels. We also have a lot of their phenomenal staff in the room who I'd like to give a shout out to for the extraordinary work that you do. I'm sorry we keep talking about volunteers. You're included in that, and I meant to include you with that. Apologies. Now, the next part of the night is fabulous, but just before we get there, it does trouble me how many bottles of wine and champagne we still have over on this table. It is a beautiful, beautiful Christmas gift. You can give someone with a lovely story behind it to hand it over and say, you provided 20 meals to our most vulnerable. So there's a lovely story behind that. So please, please, because also you go into the draw, you could win $2,000 worth of gift cards. That's first prize. And second prize, a home electronics package. That's the laptop, keyboard, mouse, gaming headphones, and printer. So we need all of those bottles to be gone by the end of the night. Now, as I step away from the podium, I would like to introduce, ladies and gentlemen, the three men you're about to see who starred in film, television, and musical theatre productions all around the world. We're talking Les Mis, Jersey Boys, Phantom of the Opera, just to name a few. They recently opened for superstar Michael Bublé and were the feature act at the Sydney Opera House on New Year's Eve with their big band, The Players, I talked about earlier. And please make welcome to the stage Simon Brooke McLaughlin, Zoe Frangos, and David Malik as they evoke the style of